Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another episode of Coronavirus, a Global Pandemic. Today we have a number of panelists with us joining us once again. But before we go to the panelists, let us discuss what's been going on. In the past 2 weeks, Boris Johnson has announced the lockdown just 2 weeks ago. And today, for the first time, just half an hour ago, the Queen made an unprecedented speech. This was the fourth time in history that this has ever happened. With other situations, for example, where the death of Princess Diana. So today's speech was a very important speech where she discussed discipline. And today, inshallah, as well, we possibly be discussing this topic as well. Now, I would like to introduce to all of you our next panelists. The first panelist we have today is our chartered accountant from the other day, Tahir Beg. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam. It's good to be back here on the show. The last time when I was here, we were not able to complete all the information. So this gives us another opportunity, perhaps, to discuss what the government is proposing and the things that they have put forward, especially for people who are self-employed, people who have been in employment, currently are what we call furlonged employees. But more importantly, coming back to the Queen's speech, obviously it's a very important time for all of us, and we have to follow the instructions which the government has put out. This is one of the reasons why we are staying at the distance that we are.
No handshakes, no hugs.
Yes, yes, and it's really very, very important to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
From this virus. We have to take all the precautions that we possibly can.
Yeah, protecting us and the humanity, preserving life, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
Prolonging life, preserving life as much as we can. Obviously, everyone's death is destined, but we still have to do our bit.
Exactly.
But, you're not here to talk about that. You're actually
no,
here.
I'm not going to be the doctor.
You're here to talk about finance and accounts.
Yes.
And you're a specialist in small businesses and taxation, right?
That's right. By profession, I'm a chartered certified accountant. I run my own practice.
You're the director at Begg and Williamson Co.
Begg Williamson and Co.
Begg
Yes,
Co.
but I don't want to promote my business here, mate.
Okay.
The idea is really to promote the schemes that the government has come up with. And one of the things that was mentioned the last time, but we didn't get a chance to discuss it, was the universal credit. And to be very frank, the universal credit, the government has actually eased the restrictions on that. More people are able to claim the universal credit. But I can tell you from the information that I've received that there's been a backlog. The number of applications that have to be processed is going to take time. The universal credit are going to give people a lump sum upfront as an advance, effectively, and once they have processed your applications, then if they have overpaid you, they'll be collecting that money slowly and surely over a period of time from you. So that is the situation as we speak. There is a bit of demand. People need to take it a bit easy. You cannot expect these things to happen immediately. It's something which has come all of a sudden. HMRC, who are going to be looking at the various schemes that they have come up for the employees and the self-employed, they haven't got their systems up and running yet. Hopefully they will have them by the end of this month, and then they will start the processing. It will be around about June before people who are self-employed, and we'll speak about the details, who can claim, how much they can claim, and what is the process of claiming it. And also people who are running their own businesses, what entitlement they are able to get. For example, people who've got very small businesses, you will find that they've got rebates for rates. And these are the details that inshallah we'll be discussing along in the program. And no doubt there'll be viewers who will want to ring and ask questions as well, and hopefully we'll be able to answer some of them. Yep.
Okay. I would like to remind the viewers at home, you are watching this on Iman channel, Huda TV and Iqra TV. Feel free to call in and join the discussion at any time. The number's at the bottom of the screen. So if you want to call in, maybe with your questions to ask Brother Tahir about maybe your small business, or maybe if you're self-employed, maybe you have some questions about how to apply for universal credit, we have a chartered accountant with us, and he'll be able to answer your questions, inshallah. So, I've got a question for you.
I hope it's not a difficult one.
I hope it's not a difficult one. So, somebody called in the other day, and they were asking about their company. They can't provide them work,
Yes.
okay? And there's a chance that they will suspend their
Employees.
and
Yes.
suspend the employees.
Yeah.
Now, he's worried about his pay because obviously, if he's not working, sometimes it doesn't feel right that he's not getting paid either.
Well, yes, the times that we are living in very difficult and strange times. So really, this is where the government has actually come in. And what they are saying to employers is, instead of making people redundant, the government is saying, well, you can put them what we call on grass for long leave, effectively. So you need to tell your employees that there is no work. For whatever reason, it could be for health and safety reasons, they are not allowed to come to the premises. They are not able to work from home because, the type of work which they are doing, they need to be at the factory. Because they are not able to work, they are now furlonged. The employer needs to tell them they will be staying at home. They will not be allowed to do any work for their employer. But the employer can pay them up to £2,500 per month. That will be as a wage. Now, when I say £2,500, that is the upper limit. The rule says if they were earning, for sake of argument, if they were earning £1,000 a month, then they are entitled to 80% of that. The 80% HMRC will actually refund the employer.
So the HMRC, they will actually pay this amount to the employer,
Yes.
not to the employee directly.
No. The employer will carry on paying the employee in the usual way. £800, there will be tax and national insurance being deducted on that. If the employer wants to pay them £1,000, which was his original salary, that's fine, he can do that. But as far as the reimbursement from HMRC is concerned, HMRC will only reimburse 80% of the regular wages. When I say regular, for example, if somebody was earning £20,000 and on top of that, they were earning another 5,000 in commissions and bonuses, as far as the regular wages are concerned, that is only 20,000, and that's what the revenue calculation will be based on. And the revenue will reimburse the employer. And again, this is something, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen immediately. From my sources, I have found out that it will be around about June before the revenue is actually able to reimburse the employer with the wages which they have paid. So to answer your question specifically, that person who is now being furlonged, he can actually receive up to 80% of his salary or wages from his employer, and the employer will be reimbursed by HMRC for that. But Umar, if I can add on, this is the category where somebody is on PAYE, pay as you earn. But there are a lot of our viewers, who are running small businesses, maybe is running a barber shop. There was another day somebody said they run a market stall. So they are self-employed as long as they have been registered with HMRC before the 6th of April 2019. They will be able to get a claim, and the HMRC will process it itself. They've got all the information. As long as you've sent in your tax returns for the year 2016-17, 2017-18, and 2018-19, they will average out your profits for those 3 years, as long as they are under 50,000 in any of those years. And for the year ended 5th of April 2019, they should be under 50,000. These are trading profits. Then the revenue can reimburse you up to £2,500. But mind you, Umar, it's only currently, as we speak, the scheme is only for 3 months. So it's March, April, and May. The government will review it afterwards, depending on what the ground realities is. But currently, as we speak, that's what the self-employed people will get.
So I would just like to remind the viewers at home, feel free to call in on the number on the screen to join in the discussion or ask your questions at any time, inshallah. So I was driving down the local roads, and obviously I've seen a number of small businesses. They've put the shutters down. They're not operating their business during this time. This will obviously affect their profit margins and whatnot. What happens in terms of all the rates that they have to pay? Because I'm sure businesses, they get taxed in a different way compared to people who get taxed in the personal way. So how has it affected their business rates?
No, it's a very good question, and it's very, very relevant. First of all, if I step back slightly, what you have said is some of those shops are closed, and this is where the scheme which I mentioned about the employees being furlonged, they will be reimbursed up to 80% of their salaries, maximum of £2,500 a month. The other one is if people are self-employed, they've had to shut the shop, they're not doing any business, they'll be reimbursed as well. That's on average, based on the average profit. But your question specifically, it's about business rates. Now, if you are a small company, if you are a self-employed person, if you are in partnership and you pay business rates and you get relief for what they call small business rates relief, small business rates relief. And that relief has been claimed up to now. If you have been getting that, then automatically your local authority will contact you. And mind you, be careful. There will be scammers. Some other people might be sending you text messages. That's not going to happen. You should wait for the letter from your local authority. They will send you, or they will contact you, and they will be the people who will be administering this. And you could get a rate grant of up to £10,000 for small businesses. So that is again something which is on top of the, we were saying about the employees and the self-employed. This is separate. This is from the local authorities, and this is a rates grant which they can get. Small businesses up to 10,000, rateable businesses over 15,000 to 50,000, that is about 25,000. But again, this will be administered by the local authority. All I should add, Umar, is that people think, oh, this is this is going to be tax-free. It is not. It is taxable income. So when you get the money, you'll get the money in June. When you do your next set of accounts, in that set of accounts, you will show this as other income, and there will be tax which will have to be paid on that. And as far as an employee is concerned, he will be getting this through his PAYE scheme, just as if he's getting a salary. That's the way it will operate.
I think we have some callers on the line.
Okay.
So let's take some calls. Assalamu alaikum caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum, sir. My name is Fauzan. I'm from Bradford.
Yes, and what's your question?
Sir, my question is that Mr. Tahir said that the tax office will contact those people who have filed 3 years return. But I have been self-employed for the last 2 years. 2 returns have been filed. So how can they contact me? They will ignore me?
Okay, just stay on the line, Brother Fauzan, in case Brother Tahir needs some questions.
So if I get his question, he said he's probably only been self-employed for the last 2 years. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's fine. They will average the profit for the last 2 years then, in that case. So if you have, as long as you have been self-employed before the 6th of April 2019, yes, it will be worked on those bases. It could be 2 years, it could be 2.5 years, it might not be 3 complete years. So they will use the figures which they have and work the calculations on that basis. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much, sir. So nice
Okay,
of you.
brother.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, you're welcome.
Thank you, inshallah. We have another caller. Let's take that caller. Assalamu alaikum caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mohammed. I'm calling from London. My question was regarding the the amount of money the government is giving to a self-employed person. So basically, my situation is from May 2018 to end of basically the tax year ended in 2019. I was only self-employed half of the year, and before that I was employed. So when government calculate how much money I would be eligible, would they take into account that how much I've earned as an employee in that year, or whatever I disclose as a self-employed person for that year? If that makes sense? Sorry, if you've got any questions, you can ask me.
Stay on the line, Brother Muhammad, in case Tahir needs to take some clarification.
Yes, Brother Muhammad, that's again a very good question. Very practical, because people don't always start their business on the 6th of April. They could be starting anywhere along the line. Now, there are a number of conditions, Brother Muhammad. I didn't go into the details. You said you started your business, self-employment, in May 2018. Are you still self-employed?
Yeah, I am self-employed now.
Okay, so you are carrying on.
Started.
Yes. Well, that's good. That's one of the conditions. You need to be self-employed, even now.
Okay.
So, okay. But it doesn't stop you from holding another job. So, roundabout before May, if you are in employment, that is fine. But as far as the calculation for self-employment is concerned, they're only going to take into consideration what earnings you had while you are self-employed. Okay? Does that answer your question?
No. So basically, in 2019 tax year, I was self-employed only 5-6 months.
Yes, yes.
So are they gonna average out how much money I have declared?
Yes,
2020 as well as 2019, or
no. 2020. If I can answer that, 2020, you have not submitted your tax return. That tax return will be done after the 6th of April 2020. So that's not going to happen. What they are saying, the close-off period is actually 5th of April 2019. You've already declared your income during that period. They will average it, it's 6 months, whatever it is, and multiply it really effectively by 3, because they're going to pay you for 3 months. So whatever profits you made in those 6 months, that will be averaged, and that will be used as the basis for your calculation. Okay?
All right, then. Thank you so much for answering.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And Omar, there are a lot of other terms and conditions as well. I mean, for example, what it says is that there is an upper limit. If your profits are over 50,000, then you're not eligible for this scheme. The other thing is, these profits have to be more than 50% of your earned income in that tax year. So, supposing somebody is getting rental income as well, they've got 30,000 rental income. Rental income is not considered to be trading income. It's a different category. It's called Schedule A income. That's rental income. A trading income is if you're doing business, running your own shop, you're a barber shop. That is what is taken into account overall. So you need to take, there are a number of other rules as well. Yeah.
We would just like to remind the viewers at home who are watching on Iman Channel, Iqra TV and Huda TV, feel free to join in the discussion at any time, to call in and ask questions to Brother Tahir, who is a certified chartered accountant, who is the director of his own accountancy firm. Feel free to ask your questions regarding self-employment, regarding tax, regarding universal credit, or if you're a small business, feel free to call in on the number at the bottom of the screen, inshallah, at any time, and join in, inshallah.
Yeah. So, Umar, there's one bit which is very interesting. It's what we call business rates holiday.
Okay.
And that is, there are no business rates to be paid. Whether you're a small business or a large business, whether you are in hospitality, entertainment business, a restaurant or cafe, there will be no rates to pay. It's called business rates holiday. So you don't have to be a small businessman. You could be quite a large businessman running a business. No rates to pay. But there are exceptions to that. for example, a medical practice or even accountancy practice, large accountancy practice, large solicitors practice, they will not be exempt. They still end up paying, the business rates. Big banks will still end up paying business rate. But I think these are largely for. But as far as smaller businesses are concerned, I think there are plenty of reliefs. And when you mentioned when we started the program, if somebody is going to sit at home for 3 months, it's it's going to be very, very difficult. Of course, there is Iman TV. They can watch the television and learn from there. This is also an opportunity for people to learn a lot about themselves, about their religion. Maybe do some courses. Ramadan coming up. Do more ibadat, learn the Quran. So these are opportunities that we need to utilize.
Blessings in disguise.
Yes, they are. Yes.
So there's another question we had earlier on as well. This is with regards to self-employment. So the brother was asking, he was on PAYE up till 1st of April.
Yeah.
And then he is becoming self-employed. How does this affect his
1st of April, what date?
2020.
2020. Well, in that case, if he is becoming self-employed from the 1st of April 2020, then really he does not qualify for this self-employment scheme, because the cutoff for that is actually 5th of April 2019. So if somebody became self-employed after 5th of April 2019, and this scheme is not really applicable to them. It's for people who were in business, who were self-employed before that date. And when we say self-employed, you could be in partnership. So there'll be 2 or 3 partners who are running. They're also classified as self-employed here.
Okay, we have another phone call. Just before we take the phone call, we'd just like to remind the viewers at home, feel free to call in at any time. The number is on the screen right now. So join in the discussion or ask your questions to Brother Tahir. Right now we have Brother Haji from Ilford. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Haji. How are you and what's your question?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good, thank you. My question is regarding the self-employed. I've been on self-employed since May 2016, and I'm still on self-employed for the last year, which is 2019 to 20. So I've submitted the documents like, paying the tax return, but I haven't paid all the tax. I pay half of the tax. And then my question is that, am I eligible to claim for that or not? Because I'm actually director of my own company.
Just stay on the line in case Tahir needs some clarifications, inshallah, okay?
Inshallah.
Brother Haji, I really need clarification, because if you are a director of a company, that means it's a limited company, and if you are a director, that means, and if you get paid by the company, then you are an employee of that company. Am I right? Are you an employee of the company that you have set up? Is it a limited company?
Yes, a limited company, that's right.
Okay. Well, yes, the answer is, what you are saying is you have not paid your taxes. So presumably you are behind with the PAYE, or you have not paid your VAT. Well, that's a different ball game. That you need to speak to the revenue and come to some sort of an arrangement with them. But as far as your salary is concerned, what was your salary that you were getting? Supposing if you were getting a salary of £12,000 a year from your company, you should be able to claim, which equates to £1,000 a month. You should be able, or your company should be able to claim £800 for you from HMRC. They can pay you more. They can pay you £1,000 if they want to. But as far as the HM Revenue and Customs are concerned, they will pay you 80% of your regular salary, which for sake of argument is £800, plus the employer's national insurance contributions, plus the minimum pension contribution. So that you will be entitled to. The company will pay you that as a salary, and it will reclaim that from HMRC. And as I said earlier, you will get the money, or the company rather will get the money in its UK bank account around about June of this year. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, and the only thing is like, so then I have to ask my accountant to claim that for me, isn't it, with the HMRC?
Yes,
Because
that's right.
I employ myself like, it's £800, which normally I give myself as a salary, like the minimum wage.
Okay.
Okay, Brother Haji, we're just about to go for a break, so inshallah we will answer that question after the break. I would like to remind people we still have 2 more panelists coming. The next panelist who will be joining us inshallah is Mufti Menk, calling in all the way from Zimbabwe, and Idris Patel, who is running the charity Support Humanity. Feel free to call in at any time. The number is on the bottom of the screen right now. Note this down, call in after the break inshallah with your questions. Brother Tahir is still with us, so feel free to call in, ask questions about taxation, small businesses, self-employed, or maybe you're struggling with some finances with your work at the moment. What are your options? So feel free to call in inshallah. We'll see you after the break inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, you mentioned
يتدبرون القرآن.
One day the Prophet ﷺ came out to the companions radiallahu anhum, and he said to them, don't you bear witness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one worthy of worship and he has no partners? Don't you bear witness that I am the messenger of Allah? Don't you bear witness that the Quran is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So the companions radiallahu anhum, they said, yes, O Prophet of Allah. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, فَأَبْشِرُوا, have the glad tidings, the great news as a result of this. Because the Quran has 2 ends to it. One end with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and one end in your hands. Then he said to them, alayhi salatu wassalam, فَتَمَسَّكُوا بِهِ, hold fast to it, because you would never be led astray, and you would never be perished if you're holding fast to the Book of Allah. Because of that, join us every week in Quran in Depth, where we recite and reflect and ponder over the verses of the Quran. We go in depth into the verses, following the ways of the Prophet ﷺ and the companions radiallahu anhum, when they used to take the verses, one set of verses after another. They would recite it, they would reflect upon the meanings of it, and they would act according to it, and then they would go to the next set of verses. Join us every week in Quran in Depth, so that we would recite and reflect and learn more about the Book of Allah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our life and to make us among those who follow the Quran and the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
I spend my life running away from you. Now I have nowhere to turn except to you.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created man. And man has outer features as well as inner features. One of the most important of his inner features is his heart. So what is the heart? What is meant by this heart that is in our bodies? And what is the health of the heart? And what is the disease of the heart? There are many diseases of the heart, and there are many actions of the heart, things that make it healthy. So what are these diseases? What are these actions? Come and join us on Huda TV in this program of ours.
So take my heart, please. wash the filth away. Don't leave me drowning here, alone and astray. Don't leave me drowning here.
Social media sites are the best way to contact us from anywhere around the world. Stay connected with Huda TV's latest news and programs through Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Skype, and Instagram. It's fast and easy. Stay up to date with your favorite shows and scholars today. Huda TV, a light in every home.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. These are the months in Islam. Muharram, Safar, Rabi'ul Awwal, Rabi'ul Thani. These are the months in Islam. Jumad al-Ula, Jumad al-Ukhra, Rajab and Shaban. Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan and Shawwal. Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah. These are the months in Islam. Muharram, Safar, Rabi'ul Awwal, Rabi'ul Thani. These are the months in Islam. Jumad al-Ula, Jumad al-Ukhra, Rajab and Shaban. Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan and Shawwal. Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah. These are the months in Islam.
Is committed to helping others. So why not help Huda TV share the message of Islam worldwide? Take part in helping spread the authentic message of Islam based on the Quran and the Sunnah throughout the world by sponsoring Huda TV. Don't miss this unique opportunity to gain the reward from Allah.
TV is pleased to announce the launching of its first mobile phone application on all iOS and Android-based devices. Browse your phone store for our new app under the name of Huda TV. Huda app delivers a bunch of amazing and versatile services to our fans and viewers worldwide. You can watch our live streaming on the move, surf our large archive of categorized articles, benefit from our daily supplications Askar that every Muslim should recite throughout the day. Just tap on any item of the Askar list and it will take you to the specific supplication it indicates to. Need to know the broadcast time of your favorite program? Just click to broadcast schedule for specific details. Huda app allows users to browse the gems of Huda TV website where they can enjoy our telemedia services by watching thousands of video clips, plenty of audio clips featuring invocations, nasheeds and audio themes of our favorite programs. Go back to the index page and check upon what is going on at Huda TV by visiting ever-updated Huda News. Get to know the profiles of Huda stars and never forget to tap on our behind the scenes button for exploring our backstage activities. It's also worthy to check upon Huda's pages on social media websites and enjoy our awesome posts and sharing. Download Huda TV's app now and live our world of authentic Islamically themed educational knowledge. Huda TV brings light to every smartphone.
To remain the premier English language Islamic channel in the world. And to do so, we need your input. Send us your thoughts, suggestions and feedback through email at feedback@hoda.tv. Huda TV is committed to helping others. So why not help Huda TV share the message of Islam worldwide? Take part in helping spread the authentic message of Islam based on the Quran and the Sunnah throughout the world by sponsoring Huda TV. Don't miss this unique opportunity to gain the reward from Allah.
وناديناه أن يا إبراهيم يا نوح اهبط بسلام منا وبركات عليك يا يحيى خذ الكتاب بقوة وآتيناه الحكم صبيا
إذ قال الله يا عيسى إني متوفيك ورافعك إلي
أيها النبي إنا
TV commercials motivate viewers.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Coronavirus, a Global Pandemic. Alhamdulillah, so far we've had Brother Tahir with us, who's been answering your questions and is still here to answer your questions. At the moment, if you want to call in, feel free to call in at any time and join the discussion. The number's at the bottom of the screen. But right now, we've got a special guest all the way from Zimbabwe, Mufti Ismail Meg. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa.
So, Mufti, I understand you've been self-isolating. Was this for 7 days, 14 days?
Well, actually, when I returned from Australia, I was self-isolated for 14 days. It came to an end a few days ago, but we went straight into the national lockdown that was declared by our government. Alhamdulillah, I have come out of the house. I did go to meet my parents, and it's just now we come out for necessity only.
So during this time of isolation, normally you're here advising us, but you yourself, how was it during this time? How are you feeling?
Well, actually, to be very honest with you, I have, right at the beginning, if you know, there was a little clip of mine that's still available on YouTube where I was complaining of a little scratch on my throat. But what I definitely have to say is that it was a long journey of about 30 hours coming from Sydney to Perth, Perth to Johannesburg, Johannesburg to Harare. It was just something that was part of that journey. However, I had started a little bit of a home remedy dealing with symptoms, which I've been encouraging everyone to do, just home remedies to deal with symptoms. And mashallah, the very next day I was okay, and I've been okay ever since, and I've been quite active online and doing the, whatever else I have to do, keeping myself very busy at home, helping out in the house, having a routine through the day, getting up for Fajr, and so on. So mashallah, it's been quite good. I think one of the most important things that I've learned to appreciate is family, subhanAllah. I pray for those who are alone and lonely, but it's times like these when you realize how big a role your loved ones play in your own life, especially when everyone is in crisis. Right now, a lot of people have a lot of anxiety, and people are going through difficult levels of mental illness, and so much is happening. And I think we need to talk more about hope than fear, because to be honest with you, alhamdulillah, there is so much beyond Corona. Life carries on, mashallah.
Can I ask something? Yeah. This is Tahir Beg here. First of all, I'm a big fan of yours. So I'm very pleased that we are sharing the platform together. But more importantly, on a personal experience, I mean, you have been sort of compelled to confine yourself, maybe at home. Normally you are traveling out and about. How does it feel to be sort of, in a way, in a self-imposed exile?
Well, it's very difficult. You require a lot of discipline and a lot of willpower, and you need to believe that every day is a beautiful gift of Allah. I was drinking a little bit of water just now, and I was tasting it and saying, Ilah al-Alameen, you've given us such beautiful water to drink, and we've never taken the time to actually thank you for the fact that we have water to drink. And I'm thinking, every ni'mah of Allah, it's now time to ponder over it. It's okay if I cannot move, and you rightly say that I normally travel so much. So for me to be at home this long is something unprecedented, and I guess COVID itself is unprecedented. So alhamdulillah, drastic measures have to be taken in drastic situations. And alhamdulillah, I've been enjoying it. I've really, I've got a very big family, so I'm only with a part of my family, alhamdulillah. Really, I've been keeping myself occupied, trying to make the most of the change. And I just want to quickly remind everyone, we must embrace the change rather than become upset with it. Look at myself. I mean, now we're online. I speak to more people. I've decided to instill hope in the hearts of people by going live online, talking to anyone across the globe randomly. And I find that it has really made a massive change. And people are so happy. They look forward to it, and they're excited. At the same time, I've been giving positive messages, and I've been trying to actually use all the technology at my disposal to reach out to people, speaking in a positive way. Yes, when I want to throw in a strong message, I do it in a manner that's very light, because people already have a lot of stress on their minds. The last thing they want from a person like me is to give them more stress. So, mashallah, I've been enjoying myself. It's a whole new ball game, and I'm embracing it quite well. And in fact, I'm becoming so used to it that I'm already planning for Ramadan and deciding what's going to be happening. Although, we've been told we may or may not be under lockdown in Ramadan, but I'm just going to take it as though we are, and let it be a Ramadan with a change in history. May Allah make it easy for everyone. Ameen.
Ameen. That brings me on to my next question, Mufti. What advice would you give to those who are about to enter Ramadan, inshallah? Because Ramadan is literally knocking on our door. So what advice would you give to the viewers at home, what they can be doing in Ramadan, especially because it's very likely, especially in the UK, it's likely that we may still be under lockdown. So what advice would you give us?
You won't believe it that, this is probably the best Ramadan we're going to be having in terms of preparing for it and being in it with its uniqueness, which means it's going to be different. But it's the best in the sense that seclusion in Ramadan is one of the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ, to introspect, to meditate, to think about the greatness of Allah, to expand one's knowledge, to learn the Quran, to read it. I think we should start from now getting used to that routine. It's like an i'tikaf of a different nature, and it's an opportunity given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I really think if we make the most of this Ramadan, we will come out completely changed in a positive way, closer to Allah, closer to our loved ones, taking life more seriously. The small things that we took for granted will become very, very appreciated, and the little things that we made a fuss about would actually become so diminished because they're so irrelevant. Life is very short. No one knows who's going next, and no one knows when we're going to go. But a blessing of Ramadan and an opportunity of secluding oneself, I think it would actually give us something amazing. Look at the i'tikaf that people engage in the month of Ramadan in the masajid. This time, it may not be possible exactly that way, but mashallah, we're already in a certain type of a seclusion, and I think we need to make the most of it. May Allah help every one of us. The routine that we make for ourselves will actually determine whether or not we're going to be benefiting from this month, and I pray that we do, inshallah.
MashaAllah. It's a really positive message that we are getting from there. Gives us a positive vibe. So whatever this is from Allah, and we have to make the best out of it. And as you say, whether it is Ramadan coming up, let's use this as an opportunity. MashaAllah, yes.
And so Mufti, you've seen life in the UK. Some of us, or actually many of us, we haven't seen life in Zimbabwe. Tell us, what is lockdown in Zimbabwe like?
Well, the challenge we face is there are a lot of people living below the poverty line, and they are hand-to-mouth people who earn every day and then eat whatever they've earned through the day. To lock them down is really difficult because it actually stops their income, and therefore they find it difficult to eat. We were just planning today how we want to feed 15,000 people and over a period of time, but the logistics, we require police clearances, various other things, the health and all the other restrictions in place. It's not easy, but that is why we have learned a little bit from South Africa, even from the UK a little bit, and our government is trying its best, even though the cases are not so many yet. But because we've been fortunate that everyone else had it before it came to us, we've learned a thing or two, and we've been in lockdown earlier than you guys, for example. So I pray that helps the situation. flatten the curve and at the same time, give people that opportunity to learn from the examples of the bigger nations that have struggled. But we have another bonus, and that is we plant a lot of our food in our own yards at times. The tomatoes, the spinach, the onions, and a lot of the things we would require to survive. In fact, in our greater yard, we have mangoes and strawberries, we have apples and granadillas, we have avocados, we have maize, we have coffee, you name it. We've got so much. We've even got a lot of the spices, the thyme and so many other things. In fact, my mom was telling me this evening, we've got so much of this fresh mint, please take some. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is from my own yard. Amazing. So it's very different from the UK. We have, each country has been blessed by the Almighty in certain ways, and each country has certain things that they have as challenges. You guys have different challenges compared to us, but we're also gifted in a different way, mashallah. We have a lot, mashallah. And I just want to pray for those who are struggling to make it because of their salaries and because of them not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. Don't worry, Allah is with you. Let's live every day for the day, and let's try our best to look forward to the next day and make the most of it. Let's reach out to one another and help each other. This is the time of giving. The wealthy companies, the landlords, the people who are in a position of giving, please give, because this is the time we need you in history. In our lifetime, I don't think meaning I know we haven't seen times like these, but I don't think we will see times like these in the future once this is done. Allah knows best, but it is the time to spend what you've earned on people around you, because I don't mean, give away everything, but I do mean reach out in a way that you help those who have less than you. Look at the prophetic times. Our beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet of Allah, he went through great struggles. And I was sitting reading the ahadith, to say 3 months passed and they only had water and dates. That is so inspiring. He was the most loved unto Allah. 3 months passed, they had water and dates. Did they complain? No. Did they ever, feel like they were missing out on something? No. Look at Shi'ab Abi Talib in Mecca. 3 years they struggled and they were eating the leaves of the trees. Did they complain? No. So this is a lot that we can be inspired by.
Jazakallah. Can I ask one more question? Would you recommend, Mufti Sahab, that, because of what you're saying, the situation not just in Zimbabwe, in other parts of the world as well, would you recommend that people start giving their zakat now? Because traditionally Muslims tend to wait for Ramadan, but if the need is now, should they not be giving zakat now, and will there be equal barakah in that?
I have actually released a video in this regard just yesterday, and maybe you might want to play that a little bit later, connected to exactly the same topic, that the need at the moment is greater than the virtue. What that means is you have two things. One is the desperation and the need right now, and two is the virtue of giving it in Ramadan. So if you do have your zakat ready, to be able to give it where it is more needed would override the virtue of giving it in Ramadan. And your reward would be equal, if not actually more, because you are reaching out to the current need. When someone is dying, you cannot say, let me wait for Ramadan to be charitable. You have to save the life. So if you've saved the life, Allah will give you the reward more than having given in Ramadan, because He knows that your heart was waiting for Ramadan to come, so the reward could be multiplied. Allah will multiply it even further. So this is a very, very important matter, because please compare the two and prioritize according to Islam. We have been taught to prioritize based on the necessity. The need is now, and the virtue is always something that follows necessity. I cannot claim virtue and delay a need. I hope you understand that.
Yeah, no, I think you've made it very, very clear. It's very useful. A lot of people will benefit from your good advice, Mufti, as usual.
Mufti, Jazakallah khair, that was cracking advice. You're doing a cracking job at cracking nuts as well. We've all seen the video. Jazakallah khair for your time.
Cracking as well, mashallah.
Jazakallah khair. We'll speak to you soon, inshallah. Take care.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
We would like to remind the viewers at home, feel free to call in at any time and join the discussion. We still have with us Tahir Beg, who's here to answer your questions regarding taxation, self-employment, or if you're running a small business. But right now, I believe we have another caller on the line. Assalamu alaikum caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Walaikum salam. My name is Bashir. I'm speaking from Glasgow.
Okay, mashallah, brother Bashir. What's your question today?
मेरा सवाल ये है कि मैं एक पिज़्ज़ा शॉप के लिए काम करता हूँ और वो डिलीवरी करते हैं हम लोग. वो शॉप बंद नहीं है, I mean वो स्टिल ओपन है. तो वो मुझे लगता है कि वो सेफ नहीं है क्योंकि जो 2 मीटर का फासला है और बहुत सी चीजें ऐसी हैं जो वो नहीं मतलब कर पा रहे हैं ना. जैसे डोर टू डोर जाना होता है, लोगों के दरवाजों को हाथ लगाना, देना फूड, वापस आना, फिर वही बैग वहां रख देना और वो दूसरा पर्सन उठा लेता है, फिर वो रख के जाता तो मैं उठा लेता. तो कहने का मकसद ये है कि वो सेफ नहीं है. तो अगर मैं खुद बोलता हूँ कि यार मैंने नहीं करना काम, तो क्या मैं उस जितना पीरियड नहीं करूंगा मुझे बेनिफिट मिल सकते हैं?
Okay, Brother Bashir, just stay on the phone, inshallah. Just to translate for the viewers, Brother Bashir, who's called in from Glasgow, he's saying he runs a pizza shop and he feels that it's not safe with the current pandemic going on. He doesn't feel it's safe for his employees because they're not maintaining a 2-meter gap. The packaging that they're handling, they're passing it over to other people. He feels quite uncomfortable and he's thinking about, or he's considering to put a pause during this time, and he's wondering if there are any benefits or if there's any help they can get from the government. So I'll pass the question over to Brother Tahir.
जी ठीक है. Shall I need to speak in Urdu ke English?
If you need to communicate, you can speak in Urdu and then translate for the viewers, inshallah.
Brother, assalamu alaikum. मतलब कि ये जो आपके कहने का है कि पिज़्ज़ा शॉप्स जो कि टेक अवे कैटेगरीज में आती हैं, फ़िलहाल तो हुकूमत की तरफ से टेक अवे की इजाज़त है. तो आपको ये करना चाहिए कि जहाँ तक हो सके वहाँ की सफाई जो है, सैनिटाइज़र है या डिस्टेंसेस है या बैग्स हैं, वो सफाई करके उसको ऑपरेट करने की कोशिश करें. अगर कि वो नहीं हो सकता, आप समझते हैं दिस इज़ डेंजरस, ख़तरनाक है आपके मुलाजिम के लिए, आपके लिए भी, तो फिर अगर आप काम बंद कर देते हैं तो उसमें कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. जैसे कि मैंने पहले कहा कि भाई जो सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड लोग हैं, वो जो क्लेम है, वो रेवेन्यू जो है आपका क्लेम जो है वो प्रोसेस करेगा. अगर आप अपने जो क्या कहते हैं मुलाजिम है उनको आप फरलोंग करते हैं, फरलोंग का मतलब आप उनको घर भेज देते हैं, कहते हैं कि भाई आपके लिए कोई काम नहीं है, लेकिन आप उनको तनख्वाह जो है, पगार जो है 80% तक, 80% तक जो थी वो आप दे सकते हैं. और वो जो है वो हुकूमत ब्रितानिया से HMR के ज़रिए वो आप उनसे वापस क्लेम कर सकते हैं. तो ये ऑप्शन जो है ये आपके पास ये मौजूद है.
Does that answer your question? Okay, I think the call has dropped, inshallah. So we'd like to remind the viewers at home, feel free to call in at any time to join the discussion or ask your questions regarding any accountancy questions to Brother Tahir, especially during this pandemic where things or financial matters are quite uncertain. So,
can I ask that if we had slide number 1 on the screen behind us, that will answer a lot of the questions which the viewers are saying. What is their requirement?
We've got another caller. Let's just take the call, inshallah. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Kashif. I'm calling from London. I've got one question. So basically, I'm the self-employed.
Sorry, Brother Kashif, we can't hear you clearly. Maybe if you're on loudspeaker, maybe just talk on the normal handset, inshallah.
Hello?
Yes, that's much better. Yeah, that's much better.
Actually, I'm the self-employed, but we are paying the taxes of £150, for the periods of the 3 months, the tax, which is last 2 years I'm paying it. But because I'm paying very low tax, so is it me and my wife, so I'm the eligible for these scheme which the government announced?
See, Kashif, I can answer that question. What he's saying is, Kashif is saying that he's been an employee, but he's not been paying much in the form of tax. Am I right, Kashif? Well, that's what I understood. The answer is, it is not relevant. What you will get will depend on what you have been earning. Now, if you have been earning, for sake of argument, if you were earning £2,000 a month, you will be actually, your employer can actually pay you up to £1,600 a month, and he will be reimbursed with that. If he wants to pay you more, by all means he can do. So it's not relevant how much tax you are paying. What is relevant is what are your regular earnings, what is your regular salary, and that is where the 80% calculation is based on. So, I've put it here on the screen. You need to have been on the payroll 28th of February. You'll be paid for 3 months. Start date is 1st of March, and you will be paid 80% of your regular wages. I hope, Kashif, that answers your question.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, please.
Yes.
I'm asking, like, because which I'm paying just tax only very low amount, and because I got shop, so, but the thing is this, basically the shop is not too much, so earning, we are not earning. But the problem is this, because now the financial, we are suffering, we are sitting in homes last 3 weeks. So that's my question, basically.
Yes, Kashif, if I understand, what you are saying is you are actually running a shop.
Yes.
Okay. So your shop, how long have you been running that business?
Running a business more than 2 years.
2 years, okay. So if you are running a shop, if you are a sole trader, or if you are running it as in partnership with your wife, the answer is you qualify. And now it depends how much profits the shop was making. That is the rule the government has come up with. Yeah, they will look at the accounts which have been filed, and they will look at the average and work on that basis. So if you have not been making much profit, then the answer is the money which you will get from HMRC will not be much. The maximum they can give you is £2,500 per month.
Okay, I believe we have a few more phone callers.
Okay.
So I'd just like to remind the viewers at home again, the number is at the bottom of the screen. Call in and join the discussion, inshallah. We'll take our next caller, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Walaikum salam.
Yes, sister, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, yes, I'm actually speaking on behalf of my husband.
Okay.
He is self-employed, okay, and up to date on all his tax returns. Now, I have a few questions. The first one is that the government has said they'll pay 80% of the profit. That's obviously after expenses.
That's right.
Yes. If, for instance, like he's got a taxi on hire purchase, the company who's given him the finance, they have frozen the payment, so he won't actually be paying those payments for the next couple of months. So in that way, the profit is not then right, because it would be more. Will that be taken into account?
So can I answer that question?
So
sister.
We've just got about 1 minute before we go to break.
I think I can answer that in 1 minute. Sister, I think you've got the calculations wrong. If he stopped paying to the hire purchase company now, it is irrelevant. The figures that the revenue are going to take into account are the accounts which have been submitted for the year ended 5th of April 2019, right? Those are the figures that the revenue will be taking into account, and those are the figures that the revenue will be assessing the benefits on, not the current situation as we speak. I hope that answers your question.
Okay.
Jazakallah. Thank you.
Okay, we would like to remind the viewers again, you are watching this on Iman Channel, Iqra TV and Huda TV. The number at the bottom of the screen, feel free to call in at any time. We've got a WhatsApp number as well, so you can dial in onto our WhatsApp number. I would like to remind you that the show is on every Tuesday, Thursdays and Sundays at 8:30 p.m. We go live, and where you can call in and maybe ask your questions. We have a range of panelists on on each show, a different number of panelists we have. We still have Idris Patel from Supporting Humanity, who will be joining us later on, inshallah. Brother Tahir, inshallah, will be joining us next week, inshallah, so he'll be able to answer your questions.
Can I say my goodbyes right now then, because I'll be leaving. There'll be Brother Idris, isn't it, coming after the break?
Yes, you've got 5 seconds.
Okay. Jazakallah, assalamu alaikum. Please remember us in your du'as. And if you've got any questions, inshallah, when I'm next on, I'll inshallah make an effort to answer those.
We'll see you after the break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah.
Assalamu alaikum. See, we work so hard, sometimes forgetting about our hearts. What are we chasing for? We don't need more. I know the world is tough, but all we need to show is love. Everything will be fine. Now here's your sign. La 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 نحتاج المال كي نزداد جمالا. جوهرنا هنا في القلب تلالا. لا لا نرضي الناس بما لا نرضاه لنا حالا. ذاك جمالنا يسمو يتعالى. أوه 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 أوه. كن أنت تزداد جمالا. كن أنت تزداد جمالا. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. Always be yourself, that is where you will find yourself. That is the key to the door for happiness and more. Always put your faith in your Lord, He will keep you safe. Don't ever feel no fear, He'll always be right here. لا 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 نحتاج المال كي نزداد جمالا. جوهرنا هنا في القلب تلالا. لا لا نرضي الناس بما لا نرضاه لنا حالا. ذاك جمالنا يسمو يتعالى. أوه 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 أوه. كن أنت تزداد جمالا. أوه 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 أوه. Loving yourself will set you free. You don't have to follow all the things you see. Be yourself and you will find happiness and peace of mind. Oh, we are.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Coronavirus, a Global Pandemic. Alhamdulillah, today we have had Tahir Beg, a chartered accountant, and we've had Mufti Meg all the way from Zimbabwe. You are watching this on Iqra TV, Huda TV, and Iman channel. We would like to remind all the viewers to feel free to call in at any time and join the discussion, inshallah. But right now we have our next panelist with us, who is Brother Idris Patel. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
How are you today?
Alhamdulillah.
So, Brother Idris, he runs a charity called Supporting Humanity, and he has done a lot of work, or has been doing a lot of work, and is still going on. This work's been going on for about 2 weeks, where they've been on the ground since this lockdown. So tell us more about it.
Basically, we've come up with the initiative to feed a minimum of 1,000 hot meals every day to either the NHS hospitals, people who are sort of working over the hours of 12 hours, and also the over 65 vulnerable people.
At the moment, you're actually doing more than 1,000 on. You're doing about 1,500 meals a day, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah, yes. As the news is getting out, there's more and more people contacting us, especially hospitals, even Nightingale Hospital, which is in Excel. Alhamdulillah, even they've contacted us, and we've been providing meals since Friday as well towards them. So approximately 1,500 meals at present, and with the help of some local businesses and a few other people, we've brought the cost to £1 per tub. Alhamdulillah.
Oh, brilliant. We've got a clip of some of your work. Let's have a look at that, inshallah.
Here is some food.
Thank you so much. This morning I've only just gone to get 10 minutes break to drink some water. Look, we're very grateful, but it's not costing you a fortune.
No, don't worry about the cost. The cost, this is nothing compared to what the sacrifices you guys are making. So, we really appreciate what you guys are doing. Really appreciate it.
Steve, you alright? Yeah, there you go, mate. Thank you so much. Food for you guys, frontline. Hopefully it serves you well. And keep up the good work.
I just want to say thank you to Iman Channel at Saffron Street.
And also to Gafour and Montana 8. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I'm eternally grateful to Iman Channel for supplying my family with this food. Otherwise, we wouldn't have anything. Thank you so much, so much. I won't forget your kindness. Thank you.
From the Compassion Care team at Nightingale XL. So, what have you just received? Let's have a look.
It's just looking lambrian. Thank you so much. It's really kind because we're all trying, working hard to kind of get on top of how we make plans for the hospital when it opens. So this is really, really appreciated.
Yeah,
very much so.
Thank you
So much.
So we've got some of the intensive care team here on their breakout from their 24-hour shifts at the moment, who are having some of this food. What do you guys think?
Very good.
Really good.
Yeah, very nice. Very good. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Very tasty.
Yeah, thank you very much. Lovely.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate all the support that we get from the public, and people really are supporting the NHS. So
Good.
keep it up.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Jazakallah khair for Iman Channel for providing us food. We are unable to get out.
Allah give you more power to help all people in the world. Inshallah.
That, mashallah, that is really, really impressive. That there is a lot going on in there, and I'd like to ask you, what inspired you to provide meals to the NHS?
Alhamdulillah, basically I work with a group of people who initially started off from the graveyard, so we from the graveyard had an idea where we've started to work with hospitals, doctors and surgeons, especially regarding mental health and other issues within our community. So over the past 8-9 months we've been working with hospitals and doctors. So initially when the coronavirus happened, one of the doctors contacted us and said one of the major issues at this present moment is the canteens are closed, the doctors are working long hours, and there's a stress upon everyone and anyone. So the brothers and I got together and we thought about what we could do. So the initiative was about trying to give them hot meals to take the tension off them getting some nice fresh food and everything. So then we were worried initially about a financial issue. So we got together, we thought about people that we could contact. And alhamdulillah, we initially contacted Iman Channel to partner up with them to try and get some help and the support. And then we went to Saffron Kitchen, who are a restaurant stroke, a very good catering company. We asked them for their help and they were really, really good and helpful. And we went to Gafour Poultry, who do meat and chicken, one of the biggest suppliers of the country. They, alhamdulillah, donated us free chicken towards the cost. And then we also had some local businesses like Letting International and a few other people who, alhamdulillah, financially have helped us. All of that gave us the inspiration to bring the cost down to £1 a tub and give us the support and the backing. And due to that, we've taken the step to, inshallah, go out there every day, support these people. Also with the networking and everything, it gives us the opportunity to show what we're about, what Islam's about. It's about keeping people happy and also working with these people.
The British Muslims, they've really come together during this tough period, haven't they?
Alhamdulillah, I think really, really good support, especially at the moment where we're doing home-to-home visits, with supplying people, deaf people, blind people, non-Muslims and Muslims. The beauty of this is this project itself is working with volunteers. The amount of young volunteers that we have captured, all between the ages of 25 to 40, all come out every day with their vehicles, their personal self, so donating time, their vehicle, their own fuel, coming out to help us and succeed in this project. the beauty of this is seeing everyone working together and also trying to abide by the laws of the country, of also not forming in groups, doing what we need to, trying to stay patient and showing what we're all about.
I saw earlier on you're actually delivering to Nightingale Hospital at the London Excel Arena, and I'm quite surprised because this hospital opened literally a couple of days ago and you're already there, mashallah. How have they taken it?
Alhamdulillah. So we're working with 12 hospitals and ambulance service as well. Nightingale itself are working very closely with us. I work very closely for the burial service, so I've been in contact with Nightingale. The CEO of the Nightingale Hospital, alhamdulillah, has also been following us on Twitter. So he's also sent a few messages, been really grateful about what we're doing, and he's also kept us on board about what the hospital is going to try and do. So we knew about Nightingale Hospital approximately 10 days before it was opened or announced. And they're really, really helpful and grateful towards what we're doing, even about the new initiatives. So, for example, there's a lot of panic within the Muslims at this present moment regarding burials, about graves. So we're working very closely with all the hospitals because they're all broken into different parts.
So, so what other hospitals, other than Nightingale Hospital, what other hospitals are you dealing with? Which areas? I'm guessing it's predominantly London?
So we're doing London, North London, South London, West London. We've even been up to Croydon as well. So we've gone as far as Croydon. We're covering Essex areas. So we've got a few businesses, alhamdulillah, who are sponsoring a few local hospitals like King George's and a few others. So we're covering a lot in London. So Barts, St Thomas. So we've got 14 hospitals in total, including Newham General, Barts, Kings, Queens. So we've got Lewisham Hospital as well, St Thomas Elizabeth. So numerous hospitals in total.
So how does an average day go? Because there's just so much going on I can't follow. You're doing deliveries to a number of hospitals. Okay, fine, the traffic's a bit less now because everyone's on lockdown, but it's still a lot of travelling, stopping, getting out the vehicle. Tell us about an average day.
The beauty of this is Saffron Kitchen start the day for us at 5 a.m. every day. Saffron Kitchen will start their work. That includes washing the meat, getting prepared for the food, preparing our food for us. So fresh vegetables coming, they've got numerous people coming in, and obviously they have to abide by the health and safety rules and also making sure everything is fresh and healthy for us. So it starts at 5 a.m. And then they start cooking, they'll get everything prepared. Then we start preparing the packing of the tubs approximately between 9:30 and 10 o'clock because we try to consume our food and make sure it's eaten within 4 to 5 hours of it being packed. So it's at 9:30 to 10 o'clock we'll start packing the food. All the drivers approximately will start turning up at 11 o'clock to 11:30. We'll start making sure that they're packing their food into the vehicles. Then they get onto the road, deliver by between 12:30 to 1 o'clock. And then they're coming back onto us. So alhamdulillah, we aim to do all our work of delivering between 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and that's how a day goes.
So could I ask, why have you specifically chosen hot food? I mean, you could provide cold food or food, long-term items. Why hot food?
All the canteens in the hospitals have been closed down due to safety and hygiene issues at this present moment with coronavirus. So the biggest issue was the doctors not getting hot food. So the hospitals are being provided sandwiches and cold food, and that's the beauty of this. That's the reason when we're turning up to hospitals, the doctors, the surgeons, the nurses, everyone are really grateful to see us. Honestly, sometimes it feels like I'm at a school because they're waiting at the doors, they're ready for us and we're serving them, and the gratitude we're getting. Today we wanted to thank them, so I've been trying to get my drivers to start, record some messages where we're saying thank you to them, thank you for working all the hard hours. And it's the opposite, where they're sending us messages on our Twitter and Insta accounts as well, like the amount of doctors that have sent us private messages saying thank you to us and continue with the hot food. That's the beauty of hot food, that they're getting something, it's filling their stomachs, and the long hour shifts that they're working is making them a lot more comfortable.
Alhamdulillah, it is really, really inspirational. So how many volunteers do you have during this whole thing?
So if I say how many people have nominated themselves, I've got approximately 100 people who have texted me to say that they want to help with the driving stroke delivering of the work. Then we've also got other people who are doing numerous other parts of volunteering. So I've also got some graveyard work which we do. So what we try to do is share the workload out. At this present moment we're helping with digging graves as well, helping other people in other communities to dig graves, prepare graves, helping with burials and preparing with ghusls and stuff like that. So we've got approximately, on the ground itself, we've got over 150 volunteers helping with numerous different roles.
Wow. And we've got quite a few partners in this for this the help that you're providing. So you've got Saffron Kitchen and Saffron Street, and you mentioned Gafoor. How are Gafoor helping?
So Gafoor Poultry are the suppliers of our meat and chicken. So they've been really, really good to us in helping to bring the cost down of the food. So what they're doing is supplying us with meat and chicken, fresh meat and chicken, I should say as well. So they supply it to us every day, and that's brought the cost down of the food. Then there's Saffron Kitchen, who are preparing our foods for us, doing the vegetables, the packing of the food, preparing the rice, the oils, all the other ingredients required to make the food and cook the food. Then the packing side of it, even putting it into tubs, Saffron Kitchen do all of that. So realistically, the cost of making these tubs is £1 due to the help of Gafoor and Saffron Kitchen. Then comes the other local businesses who have also got involved. So there's the likes of Letting International. We've also got football clubs, 2 local football clubs, FC Leytonstone and a few other people who have also got involved, and loads of local small businesses and local volunteers and other people have donated generously. And alhamdulillah, we're due to that, we're being able to pay the cost of £1 per tub every day.
MashaAllah. And you've also got the TV channel as well on board.
Iman channel has been a really, really helpful channel to us. They're guiding us in the way that we should be leading this project. They're trying to make sure that we're not going the wrong path. Alhamdulillah, I've got a lot of people that I know sort of thing, but they keep telling me I'm not allowed to use them because some of the celebrities I'm trying to bring on board, they're saying, no, you need to make sure that everything we're doing is halal. That's one of the most incentive things to do. And also to remember that this project's not about today, but also working tomorrow. So remember the way that we want to do projects. And basically, I've got other intentions, inshallah, for the long run. So what Iman Channel have done is guided us to how to run this project as well.
Okay, mashallah, it is truly impressive, and may Allah reward you and all the volunteers. How are the volunteers finding it in terms of the work? Because obviously, if they're volunteering, I'm guessing they're not currently working. So they've probably got their own stresses in terms of finances, or worried about their security, their job security. So how are they finding it?
Alhamdulillah, some of them, just like me, when they're locked up in the house, are looking for any excuse to get out of the house. So mashallah, they're very grateful to me for that. But genuinely, all the self-employed guys and all the other, everyone wants to come and help. It seems like it's brought the community and the people together during this time of need. It's really beautiful to see people come together.
So do you still need more volunteers?
I always say that every bit helps. So yes, if someone comes to me and says, I want to help, the way I look at it is it's a way that, alhamdulillah, Allah's given me a chance to bring people together, also maybe take them off the road from something wrong that they're doing, but maybe even be something successful in the future for every little thing they do. So it's not just about what they're going to do in this project, but inshallah from this they'll also be doing loads of other beautiful things.
So at the moment you're delivering, you're going to 150 or so houses personally, well not yourself but each house, and you're delivering a number of meals to that household. How have these households found it? Tell us some stories about it.
So Iman Channel has helped us create a poster, so we're asking local residents or other people to help us to find these people. For example, there's a brother called Asif who's helped us locate 50 people, and he's filled in 50 forms of names and people, vulnerable people over the age of 65, or people with medication issues, numerous other issues, where we will go to them, saves them from coming out of the house and not worry about the stress of hot meals. The amount of phone calls we're getting from people just to confirm they're going to have their hot meal, and the gratitude they're showing when they're receiving their hot meal, because a lot of these people can't come out of their houses. We serve approximately 375 hot meals to residents today, so meaning delivered to their house. Like you said, it's about 150 residents, but alhamdulillah 375 meals, which means it's not just a person themselves, but people within their family that we're also feeding.
And when I first saw the poster, this was about a week ago. Initially, you were limited to a number of areas. I believe it was Ilford, Barking, Upton Park, and or Manor Park and East Ham. But from what I've heard, that you've actually expanded and you're going to other areas like Plaistow, Stratford, Barkingside, Dagenham.
Entirely correct. So what we're trying to now do is we're trying to do the Newham / Essex areas of London. Alhamdulillah, like I've said, a lot of local businesses, especially the likes of Letting International, FC Leytonstone, Saffron, Gafoor Poultry, because they're all coming together and working with the Iman Channel and supporting humanity, we can alhamdulillah expand on this project, and we can serve people with more meals. the beauty of this is there's loads of other people that have donated so much money and also giving us the backing and support, but even giving us the encouragement to say, don't say no to anyone. If anyone needs any help, they're going to be there to try and help us. So alhamdulillah, we are expanding and we're not going to say no to anyone.
I've seen on the leaflet there's a link and for donations. I was browsing through it early on, and mashallah, there are so many donations constantly coming every hour or so. With has this helped you guys quite a bit?
Alhamdulillah, it's like they say, every penny helps. So we've even had young children donate towards it. The people of old age are also donating. Every penny helps, and yes, we do encourage people to continue donating because it's with their help that we can continue this project running.
But those who can't, who may not be able to donate, or those who may not be able to come out their houses and physically help during this lockdown, how else can someone help during this?
It's like Mufti Meng said earlier, the du'as, inshallah, they're making du'as for us, and inshallah some brother or some sister out there will probably come out from the hats and they'll be donating more. Realistically, always saying to people is, if not money, just keep making du'as and keep making sure that you pray that we're on the right path and we're successful in what we're trying to do. It's the intention that they say that makes you successful. So that's all we're saying, that the intention that we made initially was to, inshallah, feed people hot meals, especially the vulnerable, the doctors, and help people. And we just hope that our intention is what Allah accepts and that gives us a success.
So are there any unique stories or unique people that you've met, people that may inspire us, in fact?
Alhamdulillah, I've just mentioned about 9 people who are clearly blind, completely blind, deaf, and the lady rang me 3 days ago. She was overwhelmed by the meals that we provided to her, the service that we provided, and she was crying her eyes out and just thankful for what we're doing. And we just, she was not even a Muslim lady, she's a white lady, and when she found out my name, she wanted to know a bit more about the history behind us. And when we just said we're just nobodies, we're just people who have come together and are trying to do this, the lady was overwhelmed and just really, really thankful.
That's, again, mashallah, it's, every time you tell me about it, I'm just impressed, mashallah. And just last week, a lot of us, or a few people that I personally know, they were in lockdown, and they were wondering how can they help, and I saw how they could help, and I mean, they couldn't donate much, they couldn't come out, but what they were doing was they were sharing the poster, and they were just sharing that everywhere. Does this help by sharing the poster?
Alhamdulillah. So what we've been trying to encourage people, especially the doctors, the nurses, and everyone that I know, I'm saying to them, look, it's not your money I'm after, but try and at least follow the charity, so the Instagram page, the Twitter page, and even maybe our website. At least try and give us the following and understand the support we're giving, because that will be the networking that we're looking for. Because it's not just about giving your money, but it's also the support. Because alhamdulillah, by them coming on our page and saying thank you, or just a like on our Instagram page, the initiative and the encouragement it will give us, inshallah, to continue doing what we're doing is unbelievable.
SubhanAllah. And the general people, I'm sure there must be some younger people as well who are self-isolating. Are you specifically focusing on the group who are aged over 60, or are you focusing on anyone who's isolating?
So we're looking for people who are isolated, especially, so we're concentrating on people who are over 65 with medical issues. But what I always say to people is, it's people who are not allowed to really come out of their house, so with any disability or any issues and reasons why you're not allowed. So you could be a carer, and because of your caring that you're not allowed out of the house, I'll also consider them to be someone who requires a meal. So to me, it's really it's going out there, being given the opportunity to help these people, the massive reward. For I've been told all my life by my mother that feeding someone is, you're a lucky person to be able to do that, and Allah sort of accepts you and you're able to go and do that. And the amount of people that are taking part in this project and being given the opportunity to go and feed people and being helped to give that reward, alhamdulillah, all I say is everyone should take part.
So those who are actually isolating, self-isolating or under quarantine, I'm sure they wish that they could do something. What advice would you give them?
We've had numerous people, when we go to give them hot food, trying to give us money just for the donation and stuff, we continue to say the same thing. If they want to donate, but as long as they're not giving because they feel they have to pay, all we're saying to us is please continue your support. Go to our Instagram page, our Twitter pages, and please continue putting your good comments in. because all of this will inshallah help us and keep continuing our initiative of doing bigger things and better things also in the future. This is just one of the projects that we're looking at this present moment. Inshallah, we're hoping that we can also help the Muslims with graveyard issues, deaf issues. Maybe in the long run, one of our aims when we started this project was to work with people with mental issues, alcohol issues, drug-related issues. Then the amount of problems and issues that we have in this country today, with especially our youth with alcohol, drug and mental issues, is unbelievable. So one of our aims, inshallah, in the long run is to try and start some sort of program stroke project up to help the people in the future.
MashaAllah. So if somebody wants to either register for themselves, as in they're isolating and they're in need of this service, or they know someone, how do they contact you?
So we've got a poster at this present moment, so we're asking people to register with the poster. So all they have to do is go into the poster which we've shown earlier in the program, go into the link and just put their name, address down, and then one of our volunteers will inshallah deliver food to them the following day or the day after. So like I said, our charity has become something from word of mouth, so everyone's passing the word along, and that's what we're doing.
So it's that simple, literally. You just go online, fill out I'm guessing a form that takes maybe a minute?
Yep, 30 seconds. I promise you no ID is required, no passport, no driving license. We're not a bank. Just simple, register your name and address, and inshallah we'll...
You're not doing vigorous checks, you're just believing them at face value?
100%, that's what we're doing.
That's brilliant. And how about if somebody wants to donate towards the cause? How would they do that?
We also have a Just Donate page, and we've partnered up with Iman Channel who have helped us raise a Just Donate page, and people can go on the Just Donate page and inshallah donate towards it.
I think I saw the link. I think it was muslimgiving.org/hotfood. People can make their donations via that link, and if they want to sign up for the food, it's imanchannel.tv/hotfood. So it's been really, really insightful. And do you have any final words or last words to the viewers or to the community about this during this time?
All I can say to everyone is that other than our project, if you know anyone that's also requires your help, and if you can get out, then please do go and help them. But the most important thing is to remember at this present time, make sure you're wearing your PPEs, your mask, your gloves, and also protect your own family, because it's not just yourself that's in danger. Everyone around you could be also troubled just because you're not wearing the right clothing and protective.
MashaAllah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on this show. And I'm sure our viewers at home have really benefited. So I would like to say Jazakallah khair to you. I would like to say Jazakallah khair to all your volunteers at Supporting Humanity, to all the volunteers at Saffron Street, Saffron Kitchen, to those at Ghafoor, and to everyone at Iman Channel who have been helping this project. Also to the NHS, obviously, and to all the key workers who have received this quite well and have been very cooperative with yourselves, because obviously without their cooperation we wouldn't be able to. So I would like to remind the viewers, every Tuesday, Thursdays and Sundays 8:30 p.m. we are live. We'll see you on the next show, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.